today. Good morning, folks. Thank you for coming out on this dreary day. It is now 11 a.m. This is the annual budget meeting for the annual budget of 2023. The meeting is being called to order. Present is Julie, Fred, Helen, and Peg is by phone. So there is a quorum of the board present. The proof of the notice of meeting is attached. The first item on the agenda, the minutes of the board meeting from August 22nd, 2022. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is Julie,
Fred.
second by Fred. Is the board in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, okay. The first item on the agenda, letter A, the 2023 budget. Is there a motion to accept the budget as presented?
I have a couple questions.
Well, make the
Oh.
motion first, then we can ask questions.
Motion to accept it?
Well, is there a motion to accept, and then if the board can vote no or whatever, then there's a second, then we discuss it.
I
Is-
don't want to accept it yet.
No, don't accept it, that's fine, but can somebody make a motion and then we can discuss it?
Make a motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Now question, what questions do you have, Julie?
Yes, okay. So I was looking back at the roofing contract, the
Right.
one that, like, the amendment. And so I noticed that it's like fixed for the next, like, I think, I don't know, 20 years or whatever it was negotiated for like the quarterly payments. So I noticed that the budget had increased based on like above the contract amounts. So it's like only like $3,000.
Wait a minute, wait a second.
I'm just looking at the
Just
service contract
a
for the-
second, just a second.
There it is. Down here.
January, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not much.
Service contract, 28.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not much. I just
Okay.
noticed, yeah, the amendment, I'm just trying to figure out what else is like buried into that number because.
No, there's only the contract. It's an estimate, Julie. So it's like change a quarter.
145, yeah. So it's 24,580 for the year. So there's
No,
just like
how
another-
much? No, I think I'm looking at 28,000.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the actuals for the contract rates.
Hold on a sec. Well, it goes up every quarter.
Is it, that's in this contract? Is it a certain percentage?
Whatever they decide. So we're talking, so wait a minute, the actual is 26,911 for 2022
26,911.
is the actual. So it's not going up much. Remember, it's an estimate.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay, so
understand.
for
I'm just trying-
$1,500, it's a problem?
No, I
Oh.
was just curious, yeah, I was just curious because it's like the contract 6145, but all I see is that's the quarterly payment. I don't see any type of like CPI rate increase. Isn't it?
It's whatever they decide, so the 28.5 is a safe number.
Um. Do we have the actual invoices for the 2020,
Sure, but I don't have them down here now,
Yeah.
so,
for
yeah.
2021?
No,
Okay.
2022 or 20?
I mean, sorry, 2022.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Thanks.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously,
No.
everyone's probably concerned about the maintenance fees because they're so high. Obviously, we know like the big outliers.
Well, wait a minute, you read those 3 pages of boring Tony stuff?
Yeah.
Boring, really boring stuff.
No, I know, there's like the key ones. I'm just trying to find like little things that we can actually change here and there just to maybe like slightly bring it.
Well, you're talking $1,500, I don't think that's it's probably gonna eat it, at best.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I'll just give a little bit of information. Based on all these years, the budgets are fairly accurate. Meaning there's been excess. This year, we brought them down because we don't want to leave too much excess funds in case you all decide to do something different. Because I think it's been announced clearly that April is it. for Tony. I will not do the management anymore.
Got it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a constant problem. So let somebody else, let a professional do it, and then we'll see how that works. Any other questions, Julie? Please ask. Don't, it's better to get them off your chest and get asked, and then this way we'll go over it. And I'll do the best because it's off the top of my head, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I had another, so my other
Sure.
question was, I noticed for our 2021 actuals, our repairs and maintenance was like over 100,000, and here we're only budgeting like about 94,000.
Right. So let me give you,
It's like a weird number.
again, I'm not prepared entirely, but
Yeah,
if I had to logically guess, you know, there are a lot of times I take things, if you read those 3 boring pages, a lot of things came out of operating.
mhm,
Capital items that really should have come out of reserve, thank you. So if I go back and look, I'm sure if I had to logically guess if it was that high, there were capital issues. Like for instance, I've made it, the painting was like 100,000 for the outside building. We took that out of operating. The reserves were not touched. That was a big one. So we were able to do a lot because there were excess funds.
right.
This year, you know,
Mhm,
yeah, we can't leave excess if you will decide not to run.
yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah, I could give you that number, when, after the
yeah,
meeting,
yeah,
we
yeah,
could do it.
Things are gonna move between buckets and based on how things flush out, but,
Yeah.
um,
The insurance is a guess number. No clue. We're in hell on that.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at Citizens. I got that email Sunday, as a matter of fact. So the associations, you know, we did the 50-year inspection. I had to go, I had sent the engineer an email. We were done. There was not much wrong. He did not respond. I physically had to go there this week and speak with him, and he says, oh, okay. And then there were things that Citizens are requiring that are going to require an extra engineers, whatever is required. So I gave that to him, and hopefully that will be done soon because the insurance is, they got to get working on it. So if we go into Citizens, that's not a good thing. So what else, Julie? So we could do that. I can answer that after we finish the meeting.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay for now with the cable. With the cable and internet, is it combined? Or could we ever like branch off and just do internet or just do cable?
No,
It
the
has to be
association
combined.
has a contract that includes both. Those numbers are exact because of Tony's forethought in the contract. And if you recall, or I don't know if you were on the board, remember I got the reduction because I renegotiated it. So it used to be a 6% increase, but Tony was smart enough to do 5% because they needed something to be signed, and then it was renegotiated. So those are basically to the penny numbers for both. You are always free, like if you don't like the internet, to get AT&T. One of the residents has it and is not happy with it. So I don't know which internet or TV company anybody's 100% happy with. So you are always, but the TV, unless it comes through the telephone line, you do not have access to those wires, the cable wires. They are exclusive to the DirecTV or Access Media 3.
Got it.
Any other questions?
I think that was my last question.
We got time. It's
Oh, and then the last one was I didn't have a chance to check back to the landscaping contract.
mhm.
It's favorable compared to last year. I know it's
Yes.
down 5K.
It's
I
what?
knew it was a good price.
Wait,
but
say that again?
from the 2022 budget, it
Uh-huh.
went down like $5,000. So I just wanted to make sure, like, based on our contract.
I'm going from memory.
I have to
It
double check.
should be better, but, you know, if somebody's babysitting them.
Yeah.
So Helen and Charlie and Keith were babysitting them, and they did a great job. I walked around, they
Wait,
filmed.
did they do that, or was that Helen? Was that your husband?
We were working on, in the meadow,
Yeah,
we were doing that.
Yeah, that looks great.
And we
Yeah.
were helping these guys to go ahead and, tell them what to do.
Yeah,
Tony
That's
gave
nice.
us permission to do that.
I like it.
Well, I walked around once with Peg. I walked around before they started. Then the last time I walked around, he filmed everything. He didn't do everything I told him to do. So guess what? Somebody's going to have to stand there, and that will be my job, to stand there physically and say, do this, do that, even though I've done that several times. But it doesn't matter which landscaper you get, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But at least they show up well.
No, they've been showing up, and he wants to do a good
Yes, he
job. I
does.
just think there's an issue that sometimes people just don't want to get up in the morning, or just they're not thinking, or they're not whatever. What else? Fred, ask.
If it went down, where did we get such a good savings? Because of the landscaping company, or because things we don't have to take care of anymore, like the whitefly spraying?
Well, that's a good point. So I combined both. Instead of listening to the two buildings, I decided to combine them, because when we separate things, this conversation has been multiple times in multiple meetings. So I said bill River Shores, and then I bill back Middle River Club of, I think, 25%, because that's about what it came to. So nobody's getting cheated, but you have to remember, it's like the pool deck. I had both done. When you say, if we stop the politics and do the business, we get when we do bigger projects, rather than, do it, bill it that way, that's separate, nobody gets cheated, but it's, a conversation some people have.
It's good, just to see it go
Yeah.
down.
So I think it did go down. Well, one company was very cheap, but they didn't do anything, so I had to get rid of them, but they weren't paid, because they didn't perform. So then, of course, they asked for the bill to be paid, and it just didn't happen, Things don't, you have to do the work. So they stopped. They realized it was a long detail of emails. You didn't do this. Why aren't you doing that? And
Yeah.
eventually they got it. What other questions, folks?
Sorry, I have one more.
No, you could ask
One more
10.
question.
Sure.
So I noticed too, because I was just looking at all like the roof documents from the vendor. Is there anything from 2022 when they came out here and did their like semi-annual like servicing?
If they send it, I generally post it on the website. It's a progress report.
Right.
So it sounds like you have a big concern about the roof. So let me address that for you. No, it's okay. I'll
I
address
know,
it. It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. So we had to have the roof inspected. Part of that citizen thing is to have a new mitigation report. They're going to require it. I have one, or we have one going back 10 years. Prior, it wasn't necessary to update it. But this time, the citizens, to get that policy, will require a new mitigation report and some engineer's thing about the roof is okay. So I spoke to the roofer, plus I spoke to the engineer. So we're going to get two of them. So as you realize, the contract calls for the maintenance of the roof on a constant, whatever they decide, we don't figure it out. As a result, the roof should never need to be replaced. So rarely, but it does happen, there may be a roof leak. There's no such thing as the perfect roof. But just to give you a little history, which some people don't like to hear, how that roof contract was gotten was when Peg's husband Jim was on the board and I was on the board 25, 26, whatever years ago. The roof was in a crisis. And do I know anything about roofs? Absolutely not. But after some research, apparently roofs in Florida have to be maintained. So that's when the research started. And technically at that time, whatever years ago, some of the apartments were destroyed because they kept getting the wrong roof around. So once it was fixed, which this company, SK Quality Roofing, did, that get it up to speed, part of the roof, I can say maybe once, maybe twice a year, there's a minor little roof leak. It's just something that can't be helped. But it's minor. That's where we're at with it. So if you have any concern, you have the roof contract, or you want to even speak to them, I have no problem with that. Does that answer everything?
Yeah, yes, I just
It's
didn't,
okay.
I just didn't see like the 2022, like the progress report on the portal. if you can.
Maybe I didn't get it, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'll go
If you
look.
can just double check.
Because I think it would be under where their service, I think I put whatever date the service, or I could
They're
ask them
usually
for it.
dated, yeah, like June.
Yeah, I think there were some on there, whatever they sent me, I put them on, maybe I forgot, but I'll go look and see if I have any. But what they do is, it's a color thing, and they did this area and which building, and that's it.
Yeah.
This clubhouse has it, Heather does not. Heather is a different roof. Any other questions?
I'm good now.
Okay.
That's my question. Thanks.
Peg, anything?
No, no questions.
Okay. So there's who made the most, Fred and Helen? A call for the vote. Mrs. Cook for the budget, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Mrs. Dombrowski?
Yes.
Mr. Sager?
Yes,
Julie? I can't remember your... Galler? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. The next one, letter B, potential litigation against the unit owner for reimbursement of costs. Not to discuss names, you are all apprised of the situation. It's a real difficult one. So, is there a motion to get the attorney to do what he needs to get done to get this thing?
I make the motion.
Mrs. Dombrowski, is there a second?
I second it.
Mr. Sager, does the board approve? Ms. Gillard?
I don't know which
B, letter B.
I know.
You do know, you do know the situation. Remember, it's the endless emails back and forth, and we can't get a response. Don't mention the name, please.
Okay.
Yeah, let the attorney
Yes,
handle it.
yes,
Yes, Fred,
Yes.
Helen, Peg?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The next issue is the Christmas bonus for manager.
Yes.
Yes? How much?
Well, that's
Well,
helpful.
I was-
6,000.
6,000.
10%. Can we also do it for Basil and Steve?
They're gonna be next week.
Oh, they're next week. Oh.
They're under Middle
Oh.
River Club.
Oh,
Because for years, just so you know, it always came out of River Shores. And since they seem to have a lot to say, you know what? Perhaps it's wise they pay something, rather than just be a good egg over here and always foot the bill.
Tony, I'd like to say something to the board.
Please.
I would recommend 7,500 for Tony as the business manager, because Tony is here morning, noon, and night, weekends, holidays. His contract only says he has to work 20 hours a week. He works much more than that. He could be called at midnight. He could be called on a holiday. There's a busted pipe in the laundry room, and the water's running into the hall. Steve and Basil are not here weekends. Tony picks up the slack. This should be a merit increase. I recommend 7,500.
I second.
So there's a first, a second, a board discussion. Speak.
No.
It's okay. You
No.
can. You speak your mind.
I mean, yeah, between 6 and 7,500, it's not a huge difference. I'm fine either way.
Okay. So it's a first and second for 7,500. Is the board in approval of that? Ms. Gillard?
Yes.
Yeah. Mrs. Cook?
Yes.
Mrs. Dombrowski? Yes. Mr. Sager?
Yes.
And yes, Julie?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Uh,
Rule amendments.
The rule amendments, we didn't need to go over the history, you're fully aware of it. So the first rule amendment, as you know, the signs have already been placed. Now it's enforcement of the Avon parking 72-hour limit. We can't have storage there, particularly with the guest, no parking in Bristol and Devon and Chase. So some people think it's to store their vehicles there. So the signs have been placed. There's been